allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The approval of the agenda.
The only thing that switched from what I sent to you last night is Mary is now on the agenda.
Mary's resigning.
Okay.
Hi, Sam.
Hi.
You comfy there?
Huh?
You comfy?
Yeah, I'm comfy.
Back there? You comfy? Okay, just a second.
I'm motion to approve the agenda.
Motion by Stephanie to approve. Oh, I forgot to do roll call. Let's do that.
We turn on the recorder?
Yes,
Sam's
it's on.
after.
I did, yep.
Okay.
John,
Present.
Scott, here. Mark,
Here.
Stephanie,
Here.
Dale's here. Okay, now we'll motion by Stephanie to approve the agenda. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Mark. Any discussion? Any discussion? Any further discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Look over the September 23rd meeting minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and dispense with reading.
Motion by Mark to approve the September 23rd meeting minutes and dispense with reading. Is there a second?
I'll second. No, I'll second it.
Second by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Let's look over the vouchers for the month. We have
The two add-ons.
two add-ons. One for Dakota Outpost for $236.97. And one from Innovative Office Solutions for $74.98.
The 11,000, Wayne, for John Deere Financial, is that the tractor? Or what is that? Or that's the balance, is $25.
That's
I
yeah,
guess.
that's balance, yeah.
Yeah. When did we pay that, or did we already for the tractor? How much is it, roughly?
$7,995.
Yeah.
What are we over on the IT, Sam?
Which page are you looking at?
Page 4, midway down. It's like we're 2287 over budget to general IT server.
Trying to find, oh, general IT server. Is that your DNA?
Yep.
The one I see is that we are 4,920 above budget. Do you see a different one?
Got a negative.
What page, Joe?
Page 4.
Page 4,
Right in the middle.
DNA mobility. I take it
The
line
bill was
3.
4287.
Oh,
and the
DNA.
amount-
Okay, I found it. General server backup.
Something unexpected, or did we just not budget enough?
I'm wondering if we maybe have something coming out of there that shouldn't be. I will look into that one. IT.
The Larson Plumbing Heating, that must be the air conditioner we replaced, part of it, this summer. Right, Sam? Larson,
You'll have to look at the invoice for that.
Larson Plumbing is.
is that something different? Is that something different?
Different.
Oh, that's Binford, okay.
Shop.
Okay. All right.
Oops. Oops.
Something got entered there kind of funny, Sam. There's a credit for 3650 for general software. A negative is on the debit side of the credit.
Say that again.
Okay, if you look on DNA Mobility Inc. and the transaction 040750, the vendor number, and it's 107 invoice, and you go over in the amount and it's a 2025.31 is the transaction, but then the next number down is a negative number, 3650, which means it's a credit.
Right, and that's that. I think that was the. Can you look at that one, Dale? That invoice for me.
But see, the balance doesn't follow through correctly on that. So that credit should have increased that balance to approximately $4,400. Had a balance of $746.10 and in a credit of $36.50. That should have increased that balance. And then there wouldn't have been, it would still been negative, but it wouldn't have been as negative. No, it wouldn't have been negative at all. Excuse me.
What it's doing is we are crediting for that software for that amount. So, and I believe that was that one from the last meeting where it was coming, or it was maybe the last meeting or the meeting before that we had a DNA one that was going over. And I looked into it and there was one bill that was coming out that shouldn't have. So Maddie is correcting it there.
So you're just doing a GL correction from one expense code to the other.
Yes.
So you'll see the negative in one and the positive in the other.
Yeah,
Correct.
but it doesn't look like she's letting this follow through and let the software do it. It looks like she's just using the columns to put in the number because it doesn't come out right. So the total of that transaction with the credit should have been $2,025.30.
Yep.
That should be the total of that transaction.
Yep. And it is.
And the balance was $746.10. So it should have been
Oh, no, those are
overdrawn.
coming out of, those ones are coming out of different accounts. Did you see that? It's general software, general IT support, and general IT server backup. So it's not all coming out of the same account. It's coming out of 3 separate accounts.
3 accounts, so.
Yep. So you're just coding to different GL accounts.
Yeah.
No. You can't give a credit of $36.50 and not have it show up in the balance somewhere, and it never does.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter how many accounts it comes out of. The total transaction is $2,025.30.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Okay,
If you equal all those 3 in the bottom, that's what you get.
that's correct.
But why? Yeah.
But so then if you go on the other side and you look, the balance, it can't come on, nothing, it doesn't work right. You're look at how the numbers come across there. So if you, $2,025.30 was the total dollars spent. It can't overdraw the account by more than what was spent when the account wasn't overdrawn to start with. There's no, it's not possible.
I'm confused. So what did you just say?
Okay, go across from that 36.50. It
Yep.
shows 746.10. That's the balance, correct?
Yep.
Okay, and then then 1480. So if you had a credit of 36.50 and now you have a balance of 746, that means that you had to have a negative balance to start with
Yep.
of 29, and you don't have that. I
I
don't
think
think she's letting the software do the work. I think they're somehow just filling in the columns here.
no, that when we paid that bill, the last time it went negative. And so then when we're doing that credit, it's now going to take that fund back up into the positive 746.12, but we're taking the IT server backup down.
And so now that one's in the red.
Yep. So now that one's in the red.
But it should show it. Again, how do you, when you have a total transactional cost of $2,025.30, how do you end up with an overdraft basically of 22.87? You can't end up farther in the hole than the money you took out.
That one must have been already, okay, hold on. Let me go into,
I make a motion, we just would table this DNA mobility until we can get a better readout on this next meeting.
okay,
Take that out of the bills.
I'll second that.
We're gonna, does that motion include paying the rest of the invoices? No, okay. Okay, we'll do that all at once.
That to me appears she was trying to do a coding error adjustment.
Reason I did it that way in case there's another one.
Yeah.
Isn't that 3 different accounts?
It is, but that is a
Yeah.
credit and it never showed up in the. Right.
You need to know what the beginning balance was, you know, from the end of last month to know what it is, you know, for that credit to show, bring it positive, and what was the beginning balance.
So the beginning balance at the end of September for that general software was negative $2,903.85. So then that's, once we make that credit, that's then gonna bring that back up.
What was the balance in the server backup account? That must have been only like
Server.
2,000 then.
Server backup was 1,980.
Okay, I see what you were doing.
But there must be another one out of the server backup that we took out of there that it should have come out of a different account. It's kind of hard with the IT stuff because Travis isn't an employee, so he can't say, you know, take it out of this account. So that we try to make our best guess as to where this should be coming out. And so then it kind of, that's where some mix-ups get with the IT stuff, so.
We can have a better breakdown on that next meeting now, look at it.
So we're gonna get more clarity on the DNA next meeting.
Yeah, even with that explanation, there's still something wrong with the transaction.
So, okay, I'll make a motion to pay the bills except for the DNA Mobility Inc.
Including the 2 add-ons.
Including the 2 add-ons.
Motion by Mark to pay the vouchers as presented, in addition to Dakota outpost for $236.97 and Innovative Office Solutions for $74.98.
When did those come in?
It's October 6th on this one. This one says 10-6 on it too.
Are they in dire straits to be paid right now? Or?
Well, you know, we had to talk about this before.
I know.
We weren't gonna add.
I wasn't gonna say-
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
Yeah.
I don't think we should. I think we should have a hard, fast rule that bills presented
In our,
are paid and anything
Okay.
else is.
It can go on the next one, unless of course there's like a dire need of this needs to be paid right now because of something, but if it's a net 30, it can be paid next run.
So it is terms net 30, yeah.
I think that's the same argument you made last time, and If it's our mistake, yes, we have to take care of it. If it's their mistake, no.
No, they can, it's net 30, you can hop on the next one. They'll be all right.
Well, I mean, it makes it more, it makes things so that it's universal. So then we know each time there's nothing added on, we don't have to go look for it.
Okay, I'll amend the motion not approving the two add-ons and not approving the DNA mobility.
Motion by Mark to approve the vouchers as presented with the exception of DNA mobility and the add-ons. Is there a second motion?
I'll second.
Second by Stephanie. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. John?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Mark?
Aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Dale votes aye. Motion carries. Monthly office reports.
I do have a question on that.
There's no monthly office report, Sam.
Yeah, there is.
Oh, is there? Oh,
There
there we
should
go.
be.
There's not many.
Yes,
Looks
there
like
is.
this is shortest monthly office report I've seen.
There is.
I talked to Amberly today. They got 2 applicants that they're gonna interview for sheriff. The board is having some little issues. I told her to get estimates and bring them to us and we'll decide what we're gonna do.
What issues?
Breaks making some noise and maybe some heating issues or something. But she said it's been running good. She took it to Bismarck. She had a convention to go to, so I said, drive that as much as you can.
How many miles is on it?
I can't say.
Okay.
I can't say. 180 or somewhere in there.
Sam, was this human service zone host county benefits report, was that something that Mary was gonna talk to us about or no?
Yes, correct. That's Mary's.
Jeez.
Need a motion to approve the office reports?
Motion by Stephanie to approve the monthly office reports. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Mary. You're up.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Hi, Mary.
Hi there. I asked Sam to put me on the agenda. The timing worked out perfectly today for my announcement. I recently met with the Nelson County Board of Commissioners and put in my letter of resignation. My intent is to be done December 10th of this year. And my recommendation would be to advertise and fill my position as the zone director for Eastern Plains Human Service Zone.
I'm sorry to hear that. I assume that you're happy with your decision, so I'm happy for you, but I'm sorry to see you go.
Well, thank you. Do you see this picture back here?
Is it of me?
It was me last week before I went to my beautician.
Well, your decision has been very good for you then, the way it looks.
It's been very good. I tell you what, yes, it's been very enlightening and uplifting, that's for sure.
So if you got up and we saw you walk, there'd be a spring in your step?
I look like a Tigger now. I'm bouncing.
Okay. Again, I'm sorry to see you go, but good luck in your endeavors.
Thank you.
And you'll have to guide us through which direction we're gonna go here now.
Absolutely. So what I would need is you guys, Nelson County, voted to accept my resignation. I'm not sure if you guys have to do it. Maybe just do it just to be on the safe side, but Nelson County is the administrative. Anyway, so the next step would be to advertise for my position and go through that whole process.
So you're saying that we could make you an indentured servant?
You could try.
No, I don't want to.
Yeah, so the next steps then would be I would as soon as we get through this process today, I would contact Department of Human Services at the state HR and start the hiring process. They will do the advertising. They will work with whoever's identified. I will be taken out of the equation totally when it comes to the hiring process, but I will most definitely be here to help any way I can through this whole transition and, be there for whatever I can do to make this transition as smooth and seamless as possible.
Is there anything that we need to know or that you should tell us about something in the future coming as far as how this is going to be handled, or this has nothing to do with any future changes that you can inform us of?
I don't know of any future changes coming. I do not see any more consolidation. I do not see human service zone employees becoming state employees because of North Dakota PERS. That kind of wrecked that whole thing. So if you take human service zone employees and make them state employees, you have to do the whole county. And the state, so that shut the door for the state on that. They are working on an equity study to, because there's different degrees of benefits being paid by different zones. So they're trying to work through that to make things equal for all employees. But I really don't see that affecting us because Nelson County, as the host county, has the, we're one of the counties that people want to be because of the benefits to the employees. So honestly, I see nothing coming. And if something does show up, I will most definitely reach out and have a conversation. So everybody's aware of what's going on at the same time.
So you don't see it going either way, back towards the county or towards the state. You see it somewhere in limbo between the two.
Well, I see it going like it is now. I don't see, I don't see it going back to the county because of the relief, the property tax relief, the 20 mills for social services. I don't see that coming back on the county tax rolls anymore, ever. Well, the bigger counties are liking it, John. The bigger counties are happier than heck. It's the smaller counties that's why
we gave up 20 mills and got 14 back.
Oh, not that many. Come on. You got a half. Quarter. You got a quarter. Jeez. Where did you go to school, John?
You can always tell me how it is, but you can't tell me what I have to think.
I can't?
Well, you can try. So, okay, if there was something that we should know about, I feel confident you'd tell us. And again,
absolutely.
I'm gonna miss you having you there, but we'll do what we can.
Well, gee, thanks, John. What a compliment.
Yeah.
Can you put that in writing?
I made it a habit not to do that very often.
Okay,
It
that's
seems to
all I
always come
have.
back to haunt me.
Yeah, I know. So that's all I have for you guys. I just wanted to quickly jump in and let you guys know what's going on, and I'll guide you through the next steps as much as the state will allow me and keep you informed.
Thank you.
Very
Joan.
good, thanks,
What-
Mary.
Thank you,
Mary,
guys.
One last question for you, Mary.
Okay.
When you made the comment, we have to go down to one commissioner, correct?
Yes, yep.
Yes, yeah. You explain that to me, quick, Mary, quick.
So when we wrote up the zone plan, what happened when the state took over social services is Burleigh County and Grand Forks County, their zone boards were made up of all commissioners. The state didn't like that, so they said, can't do that, but you have to have representation from each zone, or from each county your zone represents. Bigger counties, there's only one, but so during this last legislative session, they did a cleanup bill, and the law now reads that I can only have one county commissioner from each county on the board. So Nelson County, I've got one commissioner, and in Griggs County, I have two. So we have to decide who wants to serve on the board. I know it's a great job. You get donuts every time, so there's a plus.
I just have to call me. Call me in.
Huh?
I just had you guys call me in.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't like to make the decisions. I leave it up to you guys. How do you want to move forward, and we make it work? I need one county commissioner, and then we'd have to think of another person in the community to serve. And I don't know Cooperstown that well, but when I used to do foster care, I worked with Audrey Fall quite a bit at the school. And I just thought, to get somebody with an education background on the board might be a thought. But that was my thought, and the only person I know in Cooperstown other than you guys. So we can decide. Our next zone board meeting is next month, November. I think it's election day, but there's no election. So we're going to go ahead and have it.
And not necessarily from Cooperstown, they could be from
Right.
Guilford or Hannaford
Right.
or anywhere in the county.
Exactly, the county, yep, exactly.
Yeah.
When does a change have to take place?
By the first of the year,
Okay.
so we have some time on that.
So you need one citizen and one county commissioner.
Yep, so Scott and Stephanie have to fight it out, or if there's somebody else that wants to serve.
Rock,
Just as
rock,
long as
paper,
it's-
scissors.
I want to see you two wrestle.
Oh, that'd be good.
Right? Leg wrestling.
That'd be really good, yeah. Mhm.
Uncle.
Guess Stephanie's winning.
Pretty much
What it is.
Pretty much. Oops.
Yeah,
Well,
so I
thank
mean,
you for,
you guys,
thank you for your years of service, Mary. We appreciate it.
oh, no problem. I'm looking forward to the next chapter, so.
Cows? A lot of
Cows,
cows?
vacation, travel, yep. Yep.
How can that be better than what you're doing?
Yeah.
It was such a tough decision, John.
That's the only real advice that my father ever gave me. He said, travel when you're young. He said, because as you get older, you can't always get around to do those things.
Absolutely. Yep. And the older every year that I tick off on that calendar, I think, oh, it didn't hurt that bad last year. So
Yeah.
going to do it. It's time.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Mary.
Wait.
Mary.
I think I need you guys to make
Yeah.
a motion to
Oh, we do.
advertise to fill my position. I do need a motion and a,
I'll make a motion that we advertise to fill Mary's position and reluctantly accept her resignation.
Motion by John to accept Mary Langley's resignation from the social service zone and to advertise to fill her position. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Scott. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. Motion carries. Thanks, Mary.
Thanks, guys, and
Thank
you know,
you.
Sam knows how to get a hold of me, and you know, you guys, I'm email or a call away, so don't be afraid. I know you're not, but just wanted to reinforce that. Thank you guys very much for keeping me on my toes and the laughs and the good memories. Thank you too. It's been great to work with. Bye.
Bye.
How many times do they meet?
Quarterly.
Quarterly.
November 2nd is the next meeting
Yeah.
at 9:30 in the morning.
If they can't make it here, can we use this room to link?
I suppose we could, yeah. Or no, it turns to say it's at Robert's Ranch all the time.
That she doesn't have any
No,
video
no,
capabilities
no, she
or
doesn't have
FaceTime,
Robert's,
so
no.
it's just via call.
Yeah,
It's just,
phone call.
Yeah.
Before.
it worked. It
It
worked.
works, yeah.
But it probably won't be there when she's gone.
Yeah, no idea.
They just have it all at Dan's office, so.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Nice place. Real nice place.
The tag program, is that you, Sam?
That is me. We qualify to have the TAG program again this year, so that is that information. We can get $5,000 for grant funds, and the county just has to pay the 25% of it. We did receive that this past year for all of the, that can go for chemicals, that can go for the trainings for the road employees, that can go for any maintenance on the pickup, all that stuff. So just wanted to inform you guys that we do have those funds again for this year.
Very good.
Well done.
Wayne, maintenance certification.
Well, Dale and I got an email from the DOT, Paul Benny, local government, and it's that time of the year where we do our annual maintenance certification for our federal aid projects. And I have the forms printed out. And there's also a sample of the contract when we do get our project bid and everything left. That's just a sample. And so I printed out the forms. Jamie Tennyson's got to sign it, the state's attorney, Samantha, the auditor, Dale Pearson, chairman, and Wayne Oyen, highway supervisor. So we have until the 26th, but I thought, well, let's just get it, as much of it done as we can today, and then get it sent in so we don't. So I suppose you have to make a motion to sign the maintenance certificate.
Someone want to make a motion to sign the maintenance certificate for the federal highway projects that we've completed.
I will motion all of that.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion by Stephanie to approve the maintenance certification with the federal highway project, seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll proceed to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
And then Paul Bjornson and I met with the DOT then in Bismarck. We presented the federal aid projects as you guys determined, set it up. They said we could go ahead and we could borrow ahead and do all the projects at once, the other two that we deferred or for a while. But wasn't that long ago we did the Sutton Road,
Right.
so it's better to wait.
In case something else
Yes, in case something else comes up.
I agree.
And they're hoping that the revenue would be increased, the amount of money that we get from the federal aid,
Mhm.
if and when the highway bill gets passed.
Yeah.
They're talking like 30 to 35% increase in the amount we would get. And then today I got this letter or email for the virtual town hall. And I sent it out to each one of you on Monday afternoon from 2 to 2:45. There's going to be a virtual town hall. And the governor is going to break down how he's going to propose to spend this 355 million for transportation. And what that means to us, transportation investments across North Dakota. So if you have time, all right to check in on it. The more ears that hear, the better. So
When's that?
it's Monday, the 10th, 11th. Monday, October 11th from 2 until 2:45.
Is that out at the state convention? Or is this
But you can just go on
go
your
online?
online and,
Are you going out there, Wayne?
oh, this is just for this.
Okay,
It's just a virtual meeting.
okay.
I was out there for the conference and the governor did give a good
What's the
speech.
time again? You were saying?
2 to
2 o'clock
2:45.
till 2:45. I did send an email to you though, if you wanna. Then you could just click on the link. There's a link on there, on that email, and just click on that link and it'll take you to the meeting. It's a Teams event. So that's all I've got.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Wayne.
Okay.
Thank you, Wayne.
How will you be able to use this grant that she's got for the weed thing to help you with spraying the
Oh, we used it this year. for
chemical?
Chemical and stuff.
Do we have chem suits?
We don't have suits. We need suits. We need rubber boots. We need rubber.
You wanna explain to the guys, you should have two. So that
Yeah,
if you have a chemical spill on your suit, you don't have to go to the hospital naked. That's exactly what they told us this spring at the chemical meeting.
It takes the fun out of it.
Yeah. So,
Well, if you have coveralls on, you could probably just take the coveralls off.
yeah,
Clothes underneath. You know.
all
We're
depends.
not gonna go buck naked.
Yeah, that sounds like they don't want it in the ambulance, so.
Oh, yeah.
Well, having spent a career in
Yeah.
chemical spills, I've never been in the hospital once for one yet. So.
I haven't either. I think I could have gotten close a few times. I'm more allergic to 240
Oh,
around my
somebody
eyes.
do have some people do have allergies.
Yeah.
So.
Some of that stuff though, Wayne, send me a list of things that you need and we can maybe ask Workforce Safety if we can get some of that stuff through that grant program that they offer.
Right. Yep.
Yeah, man, it'd be nice to keep this money for the tangible
Needs.
items, the chemical and the,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Yes, because I thought about also a shower. How often you're gonna use it? Not very often. Because you can get those portable showers that just stand on the floor. There's X amount of water in there and you can wash your face off or whatever. You know, we did that one time. We had a sprayer from a kitchen sink we had mounted
On
on the wall there, and you're able to wash your face off if you got chemical or something in your eyes, you know. So that's basically what you could use.
Yeah, little simple things can make a
Yeah.
big difference.
So, okay, then I'll I'll sign this, Samantha, and I'll leave it at your desk.
Perfect.
And then if Jamie comes in, you can sign it. And you can sign it when you get here. And you could just bring it over to Jessica, because I informed her that she would be responsible to send it in after
Perfect.
you get all the signatures. All right.
Good, thanks.
Thank
Wayne.
you.
Thank you.
Looks like we have tax director next on her. Did you get a list compiled, Sam?
No, I didn't. With my girls being sick last week and stuff, me and Connie never did get together. I did tell her that we needed one. And so I think she was just going to give up that same list that she gave you guys in the past. But we'll get together and get something for your next meeting.
Yeah, and then print the duties of the tax director from the Century Code also.
And then,
That's pretty generic. I mean, the duties are generic. It's like, yeah.
No, they're specific.
No, they're not specific.
Yes, they are specific.
the,
So generic.
the Office of the State Tax Commissioner's got a little webinar on stuff for what we're talking about here with the tax director's duties on October 13th from 3 to 3:15. I know everybody's probably got that email.
Oh, yeah, I did get that one.
So that would be source information to add to your list.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anything else on tax director? Nobody's responded. We got newspaper ads out.
You guys didn't tell me for sure that that's what you wanted to do at the last meeting. You want me to put in another ad for the tax director? Run it for 2 weeks?
Well, let's get this list together first so that if you get somebody that calls.
Because I think you guys were
can
kind of
explain to
thinking that
them.
you wanted to do in-house at the last meeting, the kind of, way that you guys were swaying is kind of getting the list together to see if there was somebody in-house that would like to do it. But I can surely put out an article or an ad if you'd like me to for 2 weeks or whichever way you want to do it.
Well, let's get the list together so people are clear on what the duties are and then keep the process moving forward
And
here.
then assign an hourly wage to it, the list, and see if somebody in the house wants to do it.
Yeah. And a wage per task, this task, you get this much, this task, because it might take somebody half an hour to finish that task. It might take somebody 5 hours to finish that task. That task is worth that much.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, 2022 budget looks like our next agenda item.
So you guys do have your public hearing tonight on the 2022 budget. Did wanted to point out one thing in the budget that did get changed. When I was doing levies, I noticed that at the last minute, Connie did put in some income for the board, but we forgot to put the expenses on the side. So once I added those incomes, it actually dropped the levy of the water board to 0. They weren't going to get a levy. And I knew that there was the intent was to give them, after all the corrections that you guys made, I knew that the intent was there. So I did out those last minute incomes that we put in there. I got rid of those, figured out what the levy was going to be for there, and then took that out of the reserve to make that bottom line to be 0. So you guys are still not, levying any more than you did last year. And the water board is now getting the levy. So I just wanted to let you guys know about
Sam,
that.
the levy is secondary. The water board needs money for their budget.
Yep.
If they have money for their budget, they don't need a levy.
The income that they put on there should have had an expense on the other side, but we didn't add those ones. We just added the revenue on it. And it should have been like an in and out. That's why Connie never did add those, is because they were just in and out. It wasn't like an actual income or actual expense. So then when she did give me those, we only put it on one side and we didn't put it on the other. So then that made it look like they had a lot more income than they did. And when they should have had the expenses on the side, and it should have been a wash.
And that's been adjusted in here now?
That has been adjusted in that one that you're looking at right now. Yes.
So the total levy of $45,363.
Correct. So then what I levied for them was the water board total levy was 47,631.15.
Because of the 5%.
Correct. Yep.
So I don't even want to ask this, but I don't have to. How did we carry over a negative balance on a budget? There's a $5,291.87 carried over negative,
In which budget?
the water board.
What?
Balance as of January 1st was negative. That's not possible. Or shouldn't be possible. Because in effect, if that happens, we are borrowing money. And we don't have the ability to borrow money. We only have the ability to be assigned money.
What page is that on, John?
That would be on page, Schedule E, page 8. So in any budget, you can't end up with a negative, you can't end up with a negative balance. It has to be fixed before the year end. This one here looks like it ended up negative and then carried that negative balance forward. And that's just, I don't know what we do about it right now, but that's.
How could they have a negative balance?
I said I didn't want to ask the question. Because it does bring up a whole bunch of other questions.
Because they have monies over and above what's budgeted from.
Well, they
could carry monies year to year.
They overspent their budget, is what this is telling us.
So basically what that would be telling you is that we over paid out to them. So I'm just doing an account history right now. One.
That's correct. In the way that we do business with them, we
Yeah.
paid more to them than they requested. And I don't know how that happened.
Then
That
we,
can't happen.
um, um,
So right now, with the $45,000 or the $47,000 levy, that will square the budget for this year, correct? Sam?
hold on one second.
Because that covers the.
Expenses. Oops, 8, 1, 7. So you guys are seeing that negative 5936.54, and that's with the estimated. So that must have been a that should have been right on, because I would have taken everything from the last budget, because that would have been 100% of their budget. Where is it? Okay, let me look. Um, thank you. Estimated revenues and then estimated expenditures. You guys approved the 28,200 last year with no revenue.
48,200.
48,200. Yep, I did say that. And then, so then that's what's in here. Okay, so then the balance January 1st was that. So then if they spend 100% of that.
I think what happened, Sam, is that they requested $5,936.54 more in 2021 than we approved. And I don't think they amended their budget. So that when we approved the 48,200, their budget showed that they had requested 59,36.54. And they never amended their budget to show that. So now now we approved less than what their budget was. And their numbers ended up then, they'd carried forward $644.67. Now their budget for last year showed underfunded of 5291.87. It really, if this was an department that we paid in and out of, that would make a difference. This wasn't. This just now reflects their overall cash on hand. It's how I read what happened here. So now that 5291.87 that it shows balance from January 1, that is actually the 5936.54 minus the cash that was on hand, 644.61 last year in January 1st.
Yep.
And so now the 5291.87 carries over, but that was actually a result of the budget being underfunded by the amount of 5936.54 in 2020, I believe.
Or is this because of that levy mistake that we have their budget being that they're gonna spend that 4820, but the taxes only came in at 42. So you know what I mean? Because of that levy mistake, because they would be different, they would be affected by the mistake that I made by.
But they'd be the other, yeah, but not to the tune of $5,900. $5,900 is 10% of that budget, and that levy mistake wasn't anywhere near that. It was about 2.6%.
That's right.
So no, I don't think that's the case. I think that we disallowed some budget items in 2020, and they never went back and amended their budget to reflect that. Is what I think happened. That's the only logical choice. That's the only logic that holds true here.
Is it the same case for the fair on the next page? The fair's got the same, the balance is a negative balance from the year before.
The fair is different. We have,
Okay.
yeah, the fair is different. We actually levy for the fair with the number with the general fund. And so you'll see that as the transfer in. That's
Okay.
where then when we close books every month, then we transfer what portion of the fair should have went to the fair every month. So then it says that they're coming in under, but then if you look at the transfer ins, that's where those funds are coming into.
So if you look on any of these budgets, Stephanie, right now at this point, until we approve this thing, the bottom right-hand number is always gonna be a negative number.
Right,
That's reflective of the levy.
yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
But the number above that is one we're looking at on the water board, the amount carried forward from the previous year on.
the 5291.
Yeah,
Because I was like, well, see, the same thing happened with the fair one. That's
right, but you'll see, so now
35.
after we approve the budget, the next time Sam prints it, those X's up in the general property tax on the top right corner, that'll have a number, that'll be populated then.
okay.
And then the bottom number, the balance will be 0.
Okay.
In the bottom right-hand corner. But this one carried a negative balance forward, which offset then the amount of money that we are proposing to levy here. Which then caused us to levy more money than we had previously approved.
Okay.
Right, Sam? We're levying more money because we're having to levy to take care of that 5291.87.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
But the ones that, everything was the same as you guys seen it before. The only thing is that I did have a revenue amount in that CT2, the KD1B, the CT2A, and the TB04. Those ones had numbers in them, and so then they should have had the expense on the other side, and we didn't do that. And that was that last meeting when, we were gonna approve it or whatever. It was right before that last meeting, so it didn't get caught. It didn't, we hadn't gone through the whole thing at that point, so that's why it got missed.
Doesn't change doesn't increase the amount we're levying. Because that can't happen either.
Now, you guys can only decrease, you can't increase anything.
So what was the budget we used prior? How much were we levying? What was that bottom right-hand column number? Was it 40,000?
40,600 was our final appropriation for 2022.
Yeah.
Okay, here.
That can't change.
What's that?
That's the point. That can't change.
Yeah.
So there has to be, the only change we can make is we'll need to reduce their expenses by the 5291.67 and then bring down that final appropriation of 40,000, whenever we decide on.
We did that.
600, huh?
We did reduce their expenses by that because we're not in the Upper Cheyenne anymore.
You
Yeah,
you
but-
guys cut them quite a bit.
We did, but we didn't take into account the 5291 that was carried over from the previous year. So under this scenario, we are levying 5,000 some odd dollars more than when we approved the budget. That can't happen.
You say that again.
When we finalized the budget, the number that we're levying for the water board has gone up by $5,000 approximately.
Well, in the levy comparison page, I took that into account. I took, like, you guys are now levying exactly what you levied last year. Is that the question?
No, what did we approve to levy this year? See, well, once we approved the budget, And now we're to the point where we're having this meeting. The only thing we can do is lower. We can't increase the levy. So what the change you made,
Yes.
did this increase the overall levy for the water board?
Yeah, because when I did the estimated tax statements, they didn't have a levy at all. That the revenue was high for those drains, and we didn't have it on the expense side, and so it totally took out the levy.
So we need to lower 4,763 to get back to the 40,600.
Well, we used to. So the water board's a hybrid creature, and it isn't exactly subject to the same carryovers that the general fund is.
They don't return their
They don't return their excess money,
money to the general fund.
kind of like the library.
They keep it.
So when we took over, what was being done with the water board, it wasn't correct, but they were just going, okay, the water board gets 4 mills, and no matter what 4 mills came to, 12th, and they weren't keeping track of.
Nothing.
So
But this is,
question-
those aren't definite numbers. So that negative is not a definite number. The prior year it is. And they didn't,
Right.
they didn't end the year with a zero. They ended with a positive number. And so that negative 5,000, that's not as if they've gotten that 5,000. That's
I
just,
understand.
yeah.
I understand, but under this scenario now, in order for to balance and come to a levy amount, we're giving them that 5,000.
Correct, yes.
Yeah. So maybe, I suppose this is a time to get into this. So because of what I talked about and the way the water board books were done, the way the water board books should be done, the drains that Samantha's talking about, this isn't her fault, this is the water board's fault, they should not be included into this budget.
No.
Because the balances in those drains are independent of levy. They are a standalone levied item. They have their own tax base, they have their own levy. They should be completely separated from this discussion. And it never seems to happen. Somebody's gonna have to sit down and show them how their books are supposed to be run.
Drains aren't supposed to be in here.
No, because, okay, so to avoid having a taxpayer in Cooperstown, North Dakota, being levied for a drain in the southeast corner of Griggs County, those drains are separated out and voted upon by the people that are going to be paying for them.
Okay.
So those monies then are levied individually for that drain by the people that are within that drain zone. Thusly, those monies cannot be counted against this budget because they're not available to this budget, nor should this budget dollars be available to that drain.
Right. Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah. So they're separate items. They shouldn't even be in the same checkbook as what I've always argued. They should each have their separate account. It would be a lot easier to do it. If you notice on the water board summary that we get, those drain, they have a negative number. They're using that money towards other things. They're trying to get that straightened out right now.
Yeah,
That wasn't the fault of the current water board. That was the fault of the previous water board. And they're trying to straighten that out now. And my hope is when that gets straightened out, that we put all this into a format where this doesn't happen anymore.
Each drain should have its own
Yeah.
They kinda
checkbook,
have to-
and it shouldn't even be the water board that administers it.
It should not be. And what happened, just for you guys' information, what happened in the past was general tax dollars were being, as we said, sent to the water board. The water board was then using those general tax dollars on some of these drains. So again, your Cooperstown tax dollars were being used over here or over here, over here. You weren't benefiting from it. They shouldn't have been used. your tax dollars shouldn't have been used there, just the same as a tax dollars from one of the drains shouldn't be used for the curb and gutter on Mark's house. They were not separate. They were all commingled. And so needless to say, it was a big convoluted mess. And I think now we've got it straightened out with the finalization of that drain. I think now I'm going to be able to put the books in place and have a grip on exactly where the money goes and make sure that it doesn't go anywhere other than it should. Is my hope.
Speaking of that, do we have somebody for the third position yet? No. Okay.
They've been running an ad.
Okay.
I don't think they've had anybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Sam, did this raise the overall county levy? The number, it didn't. Because you lowered the reserve in the general fund.
Correct.
Okay. I didn't hear, okay, let's just leave this way. It'll be okay, and we'll get it straightened out then. So the overall levy stayed the same.
Yeah.
Then we're okay, Sam.
Yes. Besides the
That was
little,
exactly.
that's gonna raise.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
you did exactly what I was gonna suggest we would do for them, so you did it already, so.
Yeah. And just to let you guys know, there has been a lot more people that have come to me wondering about this levy mistake stuff, and a lot of the there's a lot of very upset people, I guess I'm hearing, that are upset with you guys, that because they believe that it was because of the changes that you guys made during equalization. So I am in the process of talking to Jill Larson, and I'm going to be putting an ad in the paper to hopefully clear everything as simple as possible, but to let them know that it's not you. It wasn't, what you guys did during equalization. It was, the mistake that was made in my office. So I just wanted to let you guys know that that's in the process.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry that if anybody's gotten any hateful phone calls or anything like that, and just start sending them my way. And
Well, I mean, in
possible.
actuality, it exposed a mistake that was in their favor.
Mhm.
Yes.
I mean,
For
the
7 years.
last 7 years,
Yeah, right.
the amount of money that their taxes went up this year, for the last 7 years, it was decreased by that amount. It's a 1-to-7 ratio, so it was in their benefit. Taxes are complicated, and of course, there was no way to see the reduction. There's a way to see the,
Yeah.
Increase.
yeah.
Mhm.
So I've just been blaming it on the to-do commissioners.
Yes.
Why not? I just said I just follow suit.
Great.
I just wanted everybody to know that, that if people are upset with you, I'm very sorry, because like I've said, to pretty much everybody, I'm like, yeah, that did decrease it just a little bit, but the big decrease was not you, it was me. And I'm trying to get this out so that there's not a whole lot of miscommunication, because I know that it's gone bigger than just the school. It's now, the cities, and, different people are upset. And so, and a lot of people are saying that it was because of what you guys did at equalization. And I just want to, get it all out there so that it's one-stop shop. We get it all cleared up, and hopefully gets cleared up, and we don't have any more comments or misinformation out there, and we can just get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, and it was a mistake made during your training that the state certainly should have caught many times over.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They
approved.
approved it. They approved it for the last 9 times.
Mhm.
And then when they realized they shouldn't approve it, they fired our auditor.
Well, then that's another thing that we
Yeah.
need to be thinking about it in this budget too, is, I'm very confident in the numbers that I have in there, but those are from Harold.
No, I understand that.
So
Yeah.
I'm hoping that everything is okay with the budget after the state auditor's office does what they need to do. But yeah, those numbers were, they are my books and everything. And I did go back to what I did, but then I did verify them with Harold. So, something could change in the budget too.
I imagine things will change because as we see here, there's numbers that have come forward that from prior years. I mean, there's numbers lurking around in the budget that are balances that have been brought forward from 40 years ago.
Mhm.
It just keeps coming on forward and there, yeah, it should be a clean page, wipe it clean and start over again. Because the money is allocated for each individual budget, but the money's all, of course, it comes out of the treasury, and there's never been a clear number given of what is allocated funds and what's unallocated funds. Of course, it's constantly changing, but it's still, if you do it at the same time every year, you will get an unencumbered funds number, which is basically the equity of the company. Yeah.
Any future business? Are we done with the budget until we approve it after the hearing?
So when will we be looking for a new auditor? I mean,
No.
not Sam,
The
but
state is gonna send us
Yeah.
somebody.
for this year, I suppose.
They've already started the process. I've already sent them quite a bit of information. They've got all the information from my office. They have a few things that they're getting from Connie's office. So they've already started the process, and it's coming from about 3 different people. So,
Will they give us a report when they all get done?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I did ask for a report, to kind of explain to you guys what all happened with Harold, because that other form didn't really tell you a whole lot. And so I did request that so that you guys kind of understood the background of what all happened, but I haven't seen that yet either. So. And then it'll be up to you guys if you guys would like to look elsewhere to find a different auditor, or if you would like the state auditor's office to continue doing them. And their hope is that you like their performance and you will continue with them. It was kind of a sales pitch that I got, so.
How much is it gonna cost us?
Well, this one is gonna cost,
Harold up.
he said they're looking at least 25,000.
Oh,
Great.
That's for how many years? 3 years?
3 years, and then I think they're gonna do the 4th year too. So, guys, we're coming up on the end of the 2021, so then they'll probably just do 2021 too. But that's kind of the information.
Audits aren't cheap.
No.
Our manual audit spend 24,000 on every year.
Years, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And they're there for like 2 days. It's like, but we have to have it done. We have to do it every year. Need a motion to adjourn? Is that where we're at now?
Yes.
I shall motion to adjourn.
Motion by Stephanie to adjourn. Is there a second?
a second.
Seconded by Mark. Is there any discussion? Any discussion? Any discussion? Barring none, we'll see to vote. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting's adjourned at 5:56 PM. Next meeting is at 6 PM today. Next meeting after that is October 21st at 2:30 PM in this room.